You want to know the biggest surprise of 2026 so far? Sony Animation's GOAT was actually a pretty great movie. And this movie surprised me by doing so many smart things. Happy I can believe in animated films again. This video might be a little spoilery, but I want to talk about the spoilers, and some of the smart stuff is the spoilers. Let's start off with Jet Fillmore. You know, she is not even mentioned in the trailer. I don't know, they think boys wouldn't like a character, like a main character with a girl in it, which is why we had movies named Tangled instead of Rapunzel, and Frozen instead of The Snow Queen or Elsa's Journey. Yeah. Heck, even Moana's trailer, like her first teaser trailer, was more about Maui than Moana. And yeah, Goat had did the same thing. They didn't even really mention Jet. They mentioned the goat kid that wants to be a star, and that's true, but Jet. In the very beginning of the movie, they first, announced Jet Fillmore, watched Jet do all the incredible things, and then revealed her pronouns. So smart. Trick people into respecting her. Because apparently that's the only way you can. Okay, first off, this sort of rollerball, basketball, extreme sport is gender neutral, so the teams have male and female characters. Neat. And Jet is a panther. All right? She is a massive, intimidating, incredible force. And it just means she's a very big and very, very, talented athlete. And her story was surprisingly good. Because, she's not really a good role model for kids, and that just makes her an interesting character, and I love that. So, Jet, she is a very well-respected athlete, all right? She is amazing, and yeah, the Goat Kid has admired her for like 10 years now, it seems. At least 10 years. And bittersweet thing is she's apparently getting old. I don't know how old you have to be before you retire athlete land, but yeah, she has gone her whole career getting all the respect and accolades without getting the championship claw thing. And that's an embarrassment. That really frustrates her. It's like she has all the talent and such, but she's a bad team player. So if there was a sport where only she could show off her skill, then I'm sure she would have gotten an award by now. Like if she had decided to become an Olympic, I'm sure she would have gotten gold. But no. She works on a sport that plays on a team, and I don't know if she was better in the beginning about sharing the ball, but she's kind of a ball hog now, and she is terrified of anyone mentioning her soon retirement or even the possibility of it, even though she feels it. I'm not gonna say it makes her much of a diva or such. No, it's not like that. It's a little more hysterical than demanding, but yeah, she is hard to work with. But the charm of it is Gabrielle Union, who is her voice actress, puts so much spirit into it. She puts just so much of this proud, yet also petty creature inside of her. Oh, God. And it's just amazing. It's just amazing. I'm so proud that I can see a female character so interesting. The other story in this movie is about the goat kid that is, the star of the show, the storm of cliches, sweet little Will. And Will is fine. Will is very cute. He's played by the kid from Stranger Things. Oh, he's a young man now. Oh, I feel old. Anyway, so yeah, Will is exactly what you think he is. He's an underdog, he's a fanboy, he's secretly very talented, even though no one believes in small animals. Yeah, he was very pleasant to watch, but I'd donate that more to good animation and good voice acting than his character actually being special. Honestly, only two things made me really like Will. One was his ability to do the goat jumping. Like him and the other animals in this movie, like anthropomorphic animals, they'll walk on two legs, but when they want to run really fast, they'll use all four. And he did the goat thing. Like mountain goats will hop on ledges, and he does that, and it's so strange and graceful and cute and silly, and I loved it. Yeah. The other thing I liked when Will was on screen was his really silly friendship with his two buddies. It really says that you have found your soul friends when you guys can be so incredibly stupid and carefree about it. Oh, and those three have that. Um, let's see. One's a capybara. His other friend is not a hyena. She's some kind of aardwolf. I think they're like cousins of hyenas. And they just do things that 20-year-olds do. They play with the computer too much to make memes and try to get viral. They make fun of each other. They get too excited. And then they just laze around and not clean. God, relating. But anyway, yeah, their friendship was really, really sweet. And it was ridiculous. And that didn't stop being entertaining. It did not. So, what is the story? It is exactly as it is. A rookie joins a team, and with his kind heart, he makes them better and brings them together. Predictable, but again, the Sony animation is just so good at it. And even with the few lines these characters deliver, it's so warm. And I like them all so much, even though they did so little. Oh, it's beautiful. Let's see, you have the giraffe, who's played by Stephen Curry. I did not know who that was until this movie came out. Apparently, he's a basketball star. And yeah, the giraffe, whose name I'm forgetting, he is such a step up from that like hypochondriac giraffe from Madagascar so many years ago. This giraffe is trying to hedge all of his bets. He's dipping his toes in a lot of different waters. Yes, he's a basketball star, and he's trying rapping, and even though I think it's more of a hobby, he's really experimenting with fashion. So yeah, and he's got this like really smooth, chill voice. Oh, it's so cute. I mean, you helped produce this. I'm pretty sure this was like, if he wasn't the idea behind it, he was a strong force behind it, and I appreciate you for that. No idea what you did beforehand, but I appreciate you making this movie. There's a rhino, again, who doesn't say much. Mostly his shtick is that he's a single father to two very adorable and very scary children who he brings everywhere. Because again, single father. He's a nice guy, he's the big guy. He's pleasant, and he's also played by Hopper from Stranger Things. I did not recognize him at first. I was like, okay, just a guy with a deep voice. Yeah, I thought that was Patrick Warburton for a second. Let's see. Oh, there's an ostrich who, yes, is a phonoholic, but they make her phonoholic tendencies less shallow and more sympathetic because, yeah, some people play on social media because it's fun, because it's addictive. She does it because she lives in constant panic and needs validation, or at least the reassurance that her paranoia is real. It's very sad. She's played by Claire from Dairy Girls, which, yay! I'm so happy the people of Dairy Girls are getting work. Yay! Oh, and there's this Komodo dragon played by Nick Kroll. And yeah, he is that weirdo. He is that wild card, dark horse kind of a character. He is not really a Komodo dragon. In fact, what he is a mystery. He has like the shape of a Komodo dragon, but that is not the color or texture of their scales. They do not have, actually their tongues are even longer than what is shown in that. They don't have horns, but kind of like his piercings, I think they're just like, something he chose to do. And yeah, there are a lot of things he does, like climb on walls, that it's just like all the cool things about reptiles planted into this one creature. And I was really expecting Moto to be so random that it was aggravating. But yeah, again, Sony is very good at balancing. And yeah, his weirdness was turned out into pride with just a lot of smooth animation. So I did find him charming. Creepy, but charming. Like at one point, the characters are just hanging out and they're playing poker, and he throws Uno down. And Uno turns out to be really important later. Then there's this warthog who's like the team owner, not the manager, the owner. And she's played by Jennifer Lewis. And oh my God, her voice is so awesome. And oh my God, her character is just so confident. Even though she's clearly like malicious and amoral, she is just fearless and just owns her evil in such a cool way. Oh, yeah. I love it. Like, Jet is a predator, a huge, dominating predator. But Flo does not blink even when Kitty Cat starts to growl. Ugh. In fact, Flo is just so used to her that even with the growling, she does not even blink, and she gets a spray bottle and like just sprays her. Yes, this movie does not throw away the fact that Jet is a supreme apex predator, but they also play on the part where she is a kitty cat. Okay, she does kitty cat things like playing with making the biscuits when she's trying to get comfortable for bed. Yeah. Anyway, Flo is not a good character, but she's an amazing character. And here's a huge spoiler, but it's a spoiler that I love the most. Flo, like, after the team apparently gets like more popular in the beginning of it, they were like, the has-been team where only the most diehard fans will still wear the uniforms. In fact, one character in like this diner that the goat like used to work into would wear other team like jerseys just because they hurt me too many times, so he roots for anybody else. Anyway, so as soon as the team gets good and Flo thinks they're worth money, she sells them. And the only person she tells, like in the sequence when this is first happening, is Jet. I don't know, professional courtesy, maybe she hates Jet and likes to torture her. I can't tell, and the ambiguous of that is very intriguing. Anyway, so Jet knows this information, it's right before a game, and Will overhears just because he was eavesdropping, and Jet was like, we're not telling the team, it'll freak them out, and we don't need that on like the step before the nationals or championship, whatever. But then Jet, who's just a little bit off, she's still doing her job, but she's just a little off. Yeah, she tries to hold it in more, like the goat Will expresses it to the team. They're upset, obviously, but what really upsets Jet is that, okay, this really is it. This is my last game, and she just goes hard. But what I love about that scene is that so many movies make the horrible choice of making that cliche plot twist of, I've been lying this entire time. Like masterpiece movies like Claws and K-pop Demon Hunters, they use that cliche and it really irks me. I still enjoy those movies, I still think they're great, but I hate that it's used so often, and I'm so proud of GOAT for keeping like the shock value of it without actually doing that, like making that the suspense of the whole movie. I appreciate that. But it still makes this movie pretty damn amazing, so much so that I saw it in theaters and I want to see it again. Even though water is like $6 now. Ugh. I still want to see it because the animation is phenomenal. Oh, like every scene, I just want to stop and stare at to absorb all the details. Not just like the backgrounds and the character designs, all really cool. Yep, all really cool. But also just the chosen movements. And when they're playing this game, they really thought and experimented when they imagined these incredible animals and how they would use the ridiculous physics of animation to make the coolest sequences possible. They do that and it's great. So yeah, the design is incredible, and I couldn't help but compare this movie to Zootopia a lot. And yeah, the differences are interesting. Like, Zootopia is a utopia, okay? It's polished, it's pristine, it's well thought out, and yeah, it's quite beautiful. Yeah. It was made, by people who were designing it for animals. I feel like almost if people who design zoos but really care about designing zoos to be as comfortable as possible for people, it's artificial, but you can tell it was done with care. This movie, yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, maybe it's just the chosen aesthetic of it, but the buildings are a little more wonky, like the roads are really broken and messed up. There's graffiti everywhere, there's stuff rusting. It's more humble. And yeah, even though it's got more of this, not so polished vibe, that's the charm of it. And honestly, it's designed so beautifully, even with all of its chaos, that I could totally see this existing in the world with Zootopia. I really could. If I can totally see Nick and Judy at home watching this sports team on the TV and rooting for them or rooting against them. I don't know. Team the Thorns on screen, or seeing either of these casts go into each other's world with such comfort, such ease. I will say that while GOAT has this the painterly mixed with CG look to it, that sort of just blends and everything kind of reminds me of Tangled and how it's a beautiful painting that happens to be moving in a cool style. Zootopia, while it's good CG, is maybe too polished of CG. Like the horse that's actually played by Patrick Warburton, his hair looks like an element on the side. And if that was a style choice that other characters shared, it'd be cool. But I don't know, it just feels so fake and uncanny valley to me, so that threw me off. No, I did not see Zootopia 2, but I saw trailers because, just comparing the horses of these two movies is incredible and says so much about their company's priorities. It's amazing. I love it. And oh my god, it is why I want to see it again, I think, just to appreciate that those crazy twists. Amazing. Just, oh. Also, again, like, I appreciate how they designed so many characters to be, black coded. That's special for people. It makes the movie unique because you have not seen that before in other, like, movies. Maybe some TV shows, but not movies. And that is important, okay? Like, I remember friends explaining to me how Madagascar and Shark Tales was so special to them because it was the only, like, black cartoons they knew about. Oh, sure, there was the Proud Family, but not movies, And this is such a step better because, yeah, the hair textures, like, at one point the horse, the main attraction, yes, that's his name, it's awesome. Yeah, he's actually like, his hair is all fluffy on one side and then he's like getting it braided on the other. And then he gets called out saying, "That's not your hair, that's from a Clydesdale." Yeah, I love that. Yeah, they just have all these little moments, and it's just, the dialogue is very, I don't know, real. It's warm. It's so very warm, and people need that. It's just a layer that adds them more special. I may not connect to that layer personally, but I'm proud it exists, and it felt good. It felt sincere, and that's nice. At the end of the day, could I recommend this movie to anyone? No. I don't know, if you're a basketball or sports fan, then you can appreciate like the tension that is on these athletes to, have a professional career. And as a sports fan, the excitement and the community it builds. Like, I have never cared about sports at all, but I've been at like football parties or whatever, and I have no idea what's going on screen, but I love how excited and how people like talk about history and stuff. They just have so much like passion for it. It's special. I may not connect to it, but I see how special it is, and you can see that in this movie. Could I recommend this movie to anyone? I think sports fans, absolutely. I think they, wouldn't mind that it's a talking animal cartoon because I think it really gets the vibe of, being a fan, being an athlete, being a professional athlete. I think it gets that vibe down pretty well, at least for somebody who's seen other sports movies. Not passionately, but I have. Animation fans, absolutely, just for the character designs alone. Gorgeous. Just gorgeous. Let's see, for kids, sure, but honestly there are so many elements in this movie that I feel you can appreciate more as an adult, like, I don't know, the fights on phones and the characters just being mean to each other. I feel like there are certain things that will like turn kids off, but adults can laugh at. I said that because I remember back in the day when the Lego movie first came out and this little boy was like, "I didn't like Lego Batman, he was mean." And it's like, yes, sweetie, yes, he was. But as a grown-up who grew up with Batman, I appreciated that they made such a famous character mean because that's a good spoof. So yeah, I kind of feel that way about this movie. Sure, it can be seen with kids because nothing is too traumatizing, in my opinion, to like mess up a kid or scare an adult. I can see that. But yeah, I really appreciate it way more as an adult, and I love that the movie didn't limit itself to wanting to please kids. I love that. So, GOAT. You were a surprise. Not a surprise in all aspects, but you did a lot of cool things that make me really proud of Sony Animation. I can't believe I'm saying that. Like, I still can't believe it. Sony Animation, thank you for what you do, and please continue to do it, especially with new and original content. I'm so happy.